accident. PTSD from it. Like, I still can't like drive near bikers and shit like that. Like, I'm scared. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Nat, and today I'm about to tell you guys a story. As you guys can see by the title, we're gonna be talking about one of the car accidents I got into not too long ago, probably like a year ago almost. I don't know, it's a scary situation, but anyways, let me just get into this. Yeah, okay, so about like a year ago, around like the end of December, Wyatt and I got into a car accident. We were with two of our other friends. I'm not gonna say their names because it's not necessary. And so what happened was we were all just hanging out. I don't know exactly what we were doing, but I remember we just dropped off one of our other friends, and it was my mom's car. I originally was driving. I picked up 4 of my other friends, or Wyatt and 3 of my other friends, and we hung out or whatever, and it was time for us to go. It was Sunday night. We had school in the morning, so we were all like going home. And Wyatt was driving the car because I just wasn't in the mood to drive. I was tired. I just wanted to go home. So he was driving for me. And we dropped off our first friend, and then we went to our next friend's house, but he didn't want to go home yet, so we decided to drop off our other friend, our girlfriend, off first. So we started heading towards her house, and on the way home, it was like near a freeway, and it was pretty dark, and this lady comes out running across the street. And so we were in the middle lane, and she came from the right side of us. Like, we were going down this way, she came from the right side, and she ran across the street. At this time, like, it was late at night, it was almost midnight. While I was driving, and I was in the passenger seat. Our 2 friends were in the back seat. They weren't paying attention. I was in the passenger seat, and I saw her running out, and I was like, Wyatt, there's a person there. There's like a girl running. I was like, Wyatt, there's a girl right there. And by that time, he didn't see her in time. When we got closer, I saw her like kind of towards the left side of our headlight, and like by that time I thought she would have been able to like make it past just in time for us to like pass her, but that was not the situation. We ended up hitting her. She ended up hitting the side of our like headlight, and Wyatt immediately like, you know, stopped. He was like shocked. He was like, what happened? Like, what the fuck just happened? Because he didn't see her, obviously, and he didn't react in time. It was a really quick process that happened, because as soon as we drove by, she ran out, and it was just it was a bad situation. So yeah, he was like freaking out. He was like shocked. He was like, what just happened? I was like, pull over, like we just hit that girl or whatever, like pull over. And so pulled over, and I ran out of the car, and my 2 friends were in the back. They were just like, what just happened or whatever. Wyatt was like just like in shock. And I ran out. I ran to the lady or whatever. She was in the middle of the road. Well, like when I got out, she was like already kind of limping towards the sidewalk or whatever. So I was like, okay, like she's alive, thank God. Like, this is like a hard situation to talk about.
Why?
Cause it's scary. Like, it was a scary situation. Yeah, it was stupid, but it was like a scary situation at the time. Like, it was like PTSD from it. Like, I still can't like drive near bikers and shit like that. Like, I'm scared. Okay, so when Wyatt pulled over, I ran out of the car, and I started like running towards her, and she was like limping across the sidewalk, like to the sidewalk she came out from already. So she was like limping back, and I was like, okay, thank God she's like alive, she's good or whatever. And I was running towards her. I was like, hey, are you okay? Like, are you alright? And she didn't say anything to me back. She just like turned over and looked at me and saw that I was like running towards her, and then she started running the opposite direction. And so I stopped, and I turned around, and I looked at like Wyatt. I was like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? I was like, am I supposed to run after her? And Wyatt's like, I have no clue. There were like other people that were in the area too, and they like pulled over too, and they were like, yo, like what's happening? Like, what happened? Like, I saw her sitting there in the middle of the street or whatever. And they're like, I had to like swerve out of the way because she was just laying in the street. They're like, what happened? Now we're like, we just hit her. She like ran out in the middle of the street, and we just hit her on accident, and like I tried to come out and like help her, and she just started running away from me. And I was like, I don't, like, are we supposed to get her? Like, she ran that way. Like, I don't know, like, where she's going or if she's okay or not. She didn't, like, say anything to us. There were, like, probably, like, 3 other people around us. And then there were other people that were, like, pulling over and everything. And so someone called the cops for us while we were just, like, kind of, like, calming down and everything. And then Wyatt comes and tells me, he was like, yo, like, I don't really want to tell you this, but this is, like, your car is kind of, like, fucked. And I was like, what? He was just like, yeah, like the door doesn't really open, like the headlights shattered. And I was like, it's like, this is my mom's car, she's gonna kill me. I was like really upset, and I was just like in shock about the whole situation. So I was like, oh my gosh, what? So I was just like, okay, like whatever, just like move our car out of the way. Goes and brings the car around, and we're just talking to the people around us, like explaining to them what happened. And this older man, he pulled over during the whole situation too, and he started running after her. So during this whole process, he's like chasing after her, trying to get a hold of her, making her like stop. I don't know what like exactly the situation was with that, but I know he was like going to chase her and find her and stuff. And so we were all just sitting there for a while, just waiting for the cops to come. We're just talking to the people around us, like telling them what happened. And we're just like asking them like what's gonna happen and stuff like that. Like, we have curfews, we kind of have to go home soon. We're like, what's gonna really happen? Is it like gonna be a long process? And they just told us like not to worry about it, just to stay there, and that like that it's not gonna be a bad situation for us because she was a jaywalker. And they were like, don't worry, like we saw her too. Like, if we weren't to have like swerved out of the way, if my like passenger weren't to like tell me she was there, we would have hit her too. Like, we could not see her at all. And then they were just telling us like from their point of view what happened and stuff like that. They're like, we have no idea what happened, and we just saw her in the middle of the street one moment. And we're like, okay, like thank you and stuff like that. So we waited for the cops to come, and then the cops ended up coming. We re-explained the whole story to them. We told them where we were sitting in the car, we're like, you know, exchanging information and stuff like that. And we have like fire trucks coming and stuff, and paramedics, and they're all like going to chase and like find the girl and stuff like that. So there's that whole ordeal. We're all over here like explaining everything, and one of my best friends at the time, she was like breaking down crying. She was like so scared and everything, and we're like, look, it's fine, it's okay. So after a moment, we're just like sitting there, we're just like waiting for them to process everything, question everyone, and like, yeah. And then they just made us sign a bunch of papers. We filled out forms, and they're like, okay, you're fine, you're good. Like, don't worry about it. She was a jaywalker, so blah, blah, blah. We're just gonna take her in and stuff like that. They're like, don't worry, it's not your fault or anything. She was wearing all black, so like eventually they got a hold of her. They're like, yeah, she was wearing all black. Her pants were on backwards, so she was intoxicated. She was refusing help from any of the paramedics, from any of the firefighters or whatever. She was refusing help. She was trying to like be aggressive with them and everything like that. So, you know, she wasn't in the right mind. So they're just like, don't worry about it. And then we asked them if she was okay. We asked them like what process we had to go through now, and they're just like, you know, talk to your insurance company, blah, blah, blah. The only thing she really has is a broken leg and probably most likely a concussion. And we're like, okay, like that's good to hear. But plot twist, after that whole situation happened, we were about ready to go home, but they stopped us, and they ended up taking our other friend at the time that was with us. They arrested him because he had a warrant, and we did not know. He forgot to go to court one day because he did not receive a letter home, so he missed his court date, and they had a warrant out for him, and obviously we were all unaware at the time. After that whole situation, we're about ready to go home, and he ends up getting arrested. And now they're like talking to us about this whole situation. They're like, look, he's just gonna be held here. They're like, the fine is gonna be like only like $250 about, if you want to bail him out, and you just have to go here or whatever. If not, he's gonna be released in the next 24 hours or so. I don't know exactly when, but yeah. My best friend, she's like freaking out. It was like her kind of boyfriend at the time. They were talking and she's like crying. She's like, oh my god, like what are we gonna do? And we're over here like, okay, now we have to find enough money because it's not like we're working or anything. This is during the time where none of us were working. We were just kind of enjoying our lives and just hanging out. So like, okay, now we have to find $250. Keep in mind, my parents also did come because the insurance card I had was expired, like it expired like just that week or something. So my dad had to come and bring my new insurance card, and they were livid. They were so mad, and I was just like, just give me my insurance card and just leave. Okay, just let me handle this. It's fine. Just leave. Let me deal with it. I don't need your yelling and stress on me even more. Like, okay. And so during this whole process, my parents saw my friend get arrested, and they're not very happy, to say the least. So they saw this whole ordeal and they're like, who are you surrounding yourself with? Like, who are you like hanging out with and stuff like that? I'm like, look. And so we're just like figuring everything out, and my parents were kind enough to lend us $50. So thank you. We called up a bunch of our friends and we're like, hey, we're in this situation. Our friend just got arrested and we need money to help bail him out. If you have anything, please let us know. It's like midnight right now on a Sunday, so people are just like, I can't leave, like I can't help you right now. So it was a difficult time finding people to actually help us out. We called Cameron, the one you saw in our vlogs and everything. We're like, hey, one of our really good friends just got arrested and we need your help. And he was like, okay. And he helped us out with $100, and I was able to get $100 to around, I think. And my best friend at the time was able to give in 20. So we got like, eventually we got enough, and we went to go pick up Cameron and to get his money, and he wanted to come with, obviously. And so we went over there and like we got to bail him out and stuff like that, and it took a really long time. The whole process of getting the money and everything took 2 hours. So he was in there for 2 hours before we were actually able to go there. And then it took like probably like another hour for them to like process everything and like do all the money information and stuff like that. So it was a really long process. It was a really bad situation overall. It was a chain of events. Not to mention, oh my god, I forgot about this. The day before like all this happened, like before we hit the jaywalker, before our friend got arrested that night, we were hanging out at like this parking garage that like everyone just like hangs out and like talks. Like they just chill there around their cars and just talk and listen to music and stuff like that. We went there to go hang out the day before, and Y and I were like meeting our friends there. Like we were all together, but we took 2 separate cars, so we were meeting them there. And I decided to stop by and like pick up my cousin at the same time. So they ended up getting there first. Y and I went to go pick up my cousin, and on our way there, as we're turning in, like going up the parking garage, we get a call, and he's just like, hey, like one of our friends just got like jumped or whatever, like blah blah blah, you guys need to get here, how far are you, and stuff like that. And then we're just like, wow. Okay, so that's the end of my story time. I've never really like talked about it to like a lot of people, so I just kind of wanted to put it out there, and like it's like a strange situation to be in, so I feel like it would be interesting. That's what happened. So we kind of just hit a crackhead in the middle of the street, and she lived, and I hope she's doing well right now. So that's it on my video. If you guys enjoyed, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below if I should do more story times. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!